Every 40 seconds, another American is rushed to the hospital for a stroke. Most never saw it coming. If you're past 65, your chances climb 4 times higher, and that's something worth paying attention to. I've worked in emergency care for over 3 decades, and I've learned one truth. Strokes rarely arrive without whispers first. 7 subtle warnings almost always appear. If you can spot even one, you can change everything, maybe even save a life. This isn't a lecture, it's a conversation between us. I'll share what I've seen, what doctors look for, and how you can react with calm instead of panic. Let's count backward together, from 7 to 1, because number 3 might be the sign most people ignore. Before we go deeper, take a small step that could make a big difference. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell icon. That simple tap helps you stay updated with every new health guide made to protect you and your loved ones. Now, if you've ever witnessed someone have a stroke, maybe a neighbor, a friend, or a family member, type the number 9 in the comments. If you've never seen one, type 0. Both numbers matter. They help me understand who's watching and who I need to guide more closely. Here's why that's important. Most people think a stroke happens out of nowhere. It doesn't. The truth is, 80% of strokes show warning signs hours, sometimes days before they hit, but they're quiet, subtle, easy to dismiss. My goal in this video is simple: to help you notice those signs early, stay calm, and know exactly what to do next. By the end, you'll have a clear plan to protect yourself, and maybe even save someone else's life. So, take a deep breath, and let's begin with the foundation: understanding your personal risk. Here's a quiet truth most people don't talk about. 75% of strokes happen after 65. That means 3 out of 4 people affected are seniors, not youngsters. It isn't just about age. It's about how the body changes over time. Our blood vessels stiffen, our hearts work a little harder, and sometimes our reflexes don't catch small warnings. 4 big players raise your odds: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and lifestyle choices. Each one adds a layer of risk. Smoking, drinking, or sitting too long might seem harmless today, but together they become the match that lights the fuse. I don't say this to frighten you. I say it so you can be ready. Because once you understand what pushes the risk higher, you can start turning those numbers around. Now, take a quiet moment and think about your own life. Which of those 4 risks might already be part of your story? Maybe your blood pressure runs a little high. Maybe your doctor mentioned your cholesterol. Or maybe you just don't move as much as you used to. Grab a small notepad. Write down 3 things that apply to you. It may sound simple, but writing it down makes it real. Awareness is the first step toward prevention. You don't have to fix everything overnight. You don't have to be perfect. But you do need to know where you stand. Because when you understand your body, you can protect it calmly, confidently, one step at a time. Here's the good news. Once you know your risks, you can start changing them. And sometimes even small changes. A walk after dinner, 1 less salty meal, 1 more glass of water, can shift your odds dramatically. Now that you understand why strokes happen, let's move to the most crucial part: the 7 early warning signs that appear before a stroke strikes. 80% of patients had them. They just didn't realize what they were seeing. 7. Sudden loss of balance. Have you ever suddenly felt like the ground moved under you? As if you were walking on a rocking boat? That strange moment when the world tilts, your knees weaken, and you have to grab something to steady yourself. It might feel like dizziness or low blood sugar, but it could be something far more serious. That sensation, that brief loss of balance, is often one of the very first signs doctors see before a stroke. When your brain's blood flow is interrupted, even for a few seconds, your body struggles to control movement. It's not about age or clumsiness. It's about oxygen. When the brain doesn't get enough, balance fades almost instantly. Sometimes it passes, and people think, "I'm fine now." But what's happening inside could be a warning from your brain, asking for help before it's too late. Evelyn, 74, thought she just skipped lunch. She stood up, felt dizzy, and sat down for a minute. 20 minutes later, she collapsed in her kitchen. She survived, but only because her daughter recognized what was happening and called 911 right away. So, here's what you should do. If you ever feel that sudden loss of balance, sit down immediately. Don't try to walk it off. Don't think it's just fatigue. Call for help or tell someone near you. That one choice can save precious minutes, and maybe your life. Comment the number 7 below if you've ever seen someone lose balance for no clear reason. It's more common than most people realize. Now, as we steady ourselves, let's focus on another early clue, the one that often appears next. Changes in your vision. 6. Vision problems. Have you ever noticed your vision suddenly blur, as if someone turned down the focus on your eyes? Maybe one side feels dimmer, or you see two of the same object at once. It can happen in seconds, and most people blame it on tiredness or needing new glasses. But when your sight changes for no clear reason, even briefly, your brain may be warning you. This is the E in the Be Fast rule. Eyes. During a stroke, part of your brain stops receiving enough blood. That lack of oxygen disrupts how your eyes send messages to your brain. You might lose sight in one eye or both, or notice a dark curtain moving across your vision. It may not hurt. It may come and go, but that's exactly why many older adults ignore it, assuming it's just age. Here's something you can do right now. Cover one eye and focus on an object across the room, then switch eyes. If what you see remains blurred, doubled, or dim on either side, call for medical help immediately. Don't wait to see if it improves. Every minute matters, and those few moments could decide whether your vision returns or fades forever. Mary, 72, from Ohio, thought her television was broken. She saw two screens side by side and decided to wait. 3 hours later, doctors confirmed she had suffered a mild stroke. Thanks to quick care, she recovered her vision and her independence. So, if your eyesight ever changes suddenly, pause what you're doing. Blink a few times, breathe, and if it doesn't clear, call your doctor or 911 right away. Next, we'll move to another early warning sign, one that appears right on your face. And 5. Facial drooping. Smile, and take a gentle look in the mirror. If one side of your mouth doesn't lift or feels heavy and still, stop right there. Don't laugh it off. That uneven smile can be one of the clearest and earliest signs of a stroke. It's what doctors call the F in the FAST rule, face. When a stroke begins, blood flow to one part of your brain slows or stops completely. That small area controls your facial muscles, especially around the mouth and eyes. So, one side may weaken, droop, or fail to move when you try to smile or speak. It's not just numbness, it's your brain asking for help. Many older adults mistake it for a muscle pull or a pinched nerve, but it's often much more urgent. Here's a simple test. Stand near a mirror, smile slowly, then raise your eyebrows. If your reflection looks uneven, or one corner of your lips won't move, don't wait. Call for medical help right away. Every minute matters when the face starts to change shape unexpectedly. John, 68, thought he just slept wrong. He woke up, smiled at his wife, and noticed his right cheek stayed still. He waited, hoping it would fade. Within hours, his speech slurred and his arm weakened. At the hospital, doctors confirmed a stroke in the left side of his brain. Because he arrived early, he made a full recovery. If you're still watching, comment the number 9 to let me know you're here, learning and protecting yourself. Your attention could save your life or someone else's. From the face, let's move to the next vital clue: your arms. Sudden weakness there can be just as revealing, and even more dangerous if ignored. 4. Arm weakness. Raise both of your arms together, slowly, at the same time. Now watch carefully. If one arm starts to fall, even slightly, pay attention. Don't shrug it off as tiredness or stiffness. That tiny difference could be your body's quiet warning that something is wrong. When a stroke begins, the brain struggles to send clear messages to your muscles. The left side of your brain controls your right arm, and the right side controls your left. If blood flow to either side is blocked, one arm can suddenly feel heavy, slow, or weak. It isn't about aging or being out of shape. It's a signal that your brain and body aren't speaking the same language in that moment. Think of it this way. It's like the battery on one side of your body suddenly running out. You can still move, but the strength isn't there. It feels strange, uneven, like one arm doesn't belong to you. That's not something to ignore or wait on. If this happens, sit down, stay calm, and call for help immediately. Try it right now. Lift both arms and hold them up for 5 seconds. Feel their weight, the balance between them. Even a small drop on one side is important information. Don't wait for it to pass. Here's a real story to remember. Linda, age 70, was watching television one evening. She heard about this very test and decided to try it. One arm lifted normally, but the other refused to rise all the way. She called her son, who took her to the hospital, and doctors confirmed an early stroke. Her decision to act quickly saved her from permanent damage. As we move from the arms, let's look at another subtle but serious sign: the way your words begin to change. 3. Speech difficulty. When you open your mouth and the words don't come out right, stop for a moment and pay attention. If your voice sounds off, your tongue feels heavy, or your speech suddenly becomes slurred, that's not just fatigue. It could be your brain trying to tell you something urgent. This is one of the most recognized early signs of a stroke. Doctors call it the S in the FAST rule. Speech. When blood flow to the language center of the brain is disrupted, your words may come out mixed or incomplete. You might understand what you want to say, but your mouth simply won't cooperate. Sometimes even hearing your own voice feels strange, like someone else is speaking for you. Here's a simple way to check. Say the phrase, "The sky is blue." Listen closely. If the words sound distorted, uneven, or unclear, call 911 right away. Don't wait to see if it improves on its own. Even short, passing episodes can mean your brain is losing blood supply for a few minutes. That's a critical warning, not a coincidence. Let me share a real story with you. Bill, age 68, was enjoying dinner when his wife noticed his words sounded slightly slurred. He smiled, thinking he was just tired. 30 minutes later, he couldn't form a single sentence. At the hospital, doctors confirmed a stroke had affected the left side of his brain. Because his wife acted fast, he received treatment in time and eventually regained his speech through therapy. Speech trouble can appear and vanish quickly, but that doesn't make it harmless. Think of it as your brain's earliest cry for help, one you can't afford to ignore. Next, we'll explore another crucial sign: when numbness suddenly spreads through one side of your face, arm, or leg. Figure 2. Sudden numbness. Have you ever felt one side of your face, arm, or leg suddenly go numb, like pins gently pricking your skin? That strange tingling may feel harmless at first, like your arm fell asleep. But if it doesn't fade after a few minutes, that's not just circulation. That's your brain sending an emergency message. During a stroke, blood flow to a specific part of the brain is blocked. When this happens, the nerves that control touch and movement lose connection. That's why one side feels weak, heavy, or completely unresponsive. Sometimes it starts in the fingertips or cheek. Sometimes it spreads slowly, like a wave crawling across the body. Many people ignore it, thinking they just slept wrong or sat too long. But those precious minutes of waiting can make all the difference. Here's what you should do. If numbness or tingling appears suddenly and lasts more than 10 minutes, call for help right away. Don't massage it, don't try to walk it off, and don't wait to see if it goes away. The longer your brain lacks oxygen, the more cells die. Silently, permanently. Let me share a quick story. Henry, age 73, woke up one morning with a numb right hand. He shook it, thinking he'd slept in the wrong position. When the feeling didn't return, his wife insisted on calling 911. At the hospital, an MRI revealed a small stroke in the left side of his brain. Because he acted quickly, he avoided lasting paralysis and walked out just days later. Remember this simple rule: sudden numbness equals a red signal. It's your body's way of saying something is wrong. Get help now. Next, we'll talk about one of the most dangerous warnings of all. The kind of headache you never forget. 1. The worst headache of your life. A headache that hits like lightning, sharp, sudden, and unbearable, should never be ignored. It's not the usual stress or dehydration pain. It feels explosive, like a flash inside your skull, and it can come without warning. Doctors often describe it as the worst headache of your life. If that moment ever happens, don't downplay it. Don't take a pill and wait. It could be a sign of bleeding inside the brain, what's called a cerebral hemorrhage. When bleeding occurs, pressure builds rapidly inside the skull, cutting off oxygen to vital areas. Even a few minutes of delay can lead to brain damage or loss of consciousness. You might feel nausea, dizziness, or sensitivity to light. Sometimes people collapse without any other symptom at all. That's why this headache is one of the most dangerous red flags. If a severe headache strikes suddenly, for no clear reason, call 911 immediately. Even if you don't have facial drooping, weakness, or speech trouble, treat it like an emergency. Getting help fast can be the difference between a full recovery and lifelong complications. Let me share a real example. A 69-year-old woman described her pain as a burst of light inside my head. She had no other symptoms, no slurred speech, no numbness, but she trusted her instinct and called for help right away. Doctors found a small brain bleed just in time. Her quick action saved her life. Remember, your brain has no pain sensors. Headaches are how it cries for help. If one feels extreme, new, or explosive, don't wait. You can't see a stroke forming, but you can stop it from stealing your tomorrow. Now that you know all 7 warning signs, it's time to learn how to react fast. The simple plan that saves lives. When a stroke strikes, every second counts. There's a simple checklist that can save a life. 4 letters that could mean the difference between recovery and tragedy. It's called FAST. F stands for face. Ask the person to smile. If one side droops, even slightly, take it seriously. That uneven smile isn't just tiredness, it's a red flag. A stands for arm. Ask them to raise both arms at the same time. If one arm drifts down or feels weak and heavy, that's another major warning sign. S stands for speech. Have them repeat a simple phrase like, "The sky is blue." If the words sound slurred, strange, or incomplete, don't wait to see if it clears. T stands for time. If any one of these tests fails, call 911 immediately. Don't drive yourself. Don't wait just a few minutes. let professionals handle it. The faster treatment starts, the better the chance of full recovery. Here's something many people don't realize. For every minute a stroke goes untreated, the brain loses about 1.9 million cells. That's why doctors call the first 4.5 hours the golden window. Beyond that, even the best medicine can't reverse the damage completely. So, act fast, literally. Remember those 4 letters: F for face, A for arm, S for speech, and T for time. If you can memorize them, you might save a life, maybe even your own. Comment the number 9 below if you've learned something new today. And now, let's talk about prevention. 5 practical ways you can reduce your stroke risk starting right now. Now that you know how to recognize the warning signs, let's talk about prevention. The steps you can take today to protect your brain and heart. We'll count down from 5 to 1 because every small habit adds up to a stronger, safer you. On 5, control your blood pressure. This is the number 1 cause of strokes. Keep it below 130/80. Cut back on salt, aim for less than 1,500 milligrams a day, and move your body regularly. Even a 20-minute walk can make a huge difference. 4. Follow the DASH diet. Fill your plate with colorful vegetables, fresh fruits, fish, and whole grains. Swap red meat for lean protein like salmon or tofu. Choose olive oil instead of butter and drink more water than soda. 3. Exercise smart. Aim for at least 150 minutes of movement each week. 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Brisk walking, light yoga, swimming, or dancing all count. Find something you enjoy so you'll keep going. 2. Schedule regular checkups. Monitor your blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar. Ask your doctor about your personal stroke risk and medication options. Prevention starts with knowing your numbers. 1. Manage stress and sleep well. Sleep 7 to 8 hours a night, keep a regular bedtime, and create a peaceful environment. Try deep breathing or 10 minutes of meditation each day. Relaxed minds lead to healthier hearts. Before we move to your next steps, write down 1 small change you'll start today. Because prevention begins with action. Let's take a moment to bring everything together. 7 warning signs, 5 prevention steps. 1 powerful rule: fast. If you can remember those, you already hold the key to saving a life. Every minute you hesitate, your brain loses nearly 2 million cells. That's why timing isn't just important, it's everything. Acting fast could mean walking out of the hospital instead of never walking again. So here's what I want you to do. If this video helped you learn something valuable, comment the number 9. If you didn't learn anything new, comment 0. It helps me guide you better. And if you truly care about your brain health, hit like, share, and subscribe right now. You never know whose life that click might protect. Remember, awareness saves lives, but action saves futures. Teach these 7 signs to your family, write them down, and review them often. The more people who know, the more lives we can protect together. And don't miss our next video, How to Recognize a Heart Attack in Women. The signs are completely different, and knowing them could save someone you love.